I have noticed a trend coming up over and over and over. And it's time that I just want to get over it.
Okay, so I've noticed a point of attraction. I've noticed that I've got some marbles that must be active because they keep attracting something you want or something you don't want.
Something I don't think I want.
All right, what are you going to do about picking other marbles? We know that you knew it even before you got here, but you really know it now. That nothing comes to you that is not vibrationally active. So the easy, sort of not very satisfying answer is just don't put marbles in your bag that attract that. But you got to figure out what those marbles are. And the way you figure that out is when the feeling comes up, you're doing it now. When the feeling comes up, you're doing it now. When the feeling comes up, you're doing it now. So can you connect those dots? When that feeling comes up, what kinds of things are you doing?
Well, I'm forgetting faces and names of clients because my husband and I work with a lot of people. And we have our own upholstery company, and I work for a retail fabric store where we get a lot of customers. I book a lot of work. And I'll have worked with them before, and they'll come into the store and they'll just have that look in their eye like we've had a whole conversation about their entire house, what it looks like. I've probably helped them decorate quite a few things, and I just don't remember them. And I want to start anchoring their faces and then move on to their names.
But here's the thing. Did you hear us earlier? This is so important. Did you hear us earlier talking about calibrating to your inner being? And you're doing that often. Your inner being doesn't give a rip what their name is.
That's how sometimes I feel, and I feel bad.
But think about this. If you're calibrating to them now, do you think that they want the same thing from you now that they got from you before?
No, they need a new project.
Yeah, they're new in the now, so they're presenting themselves to you. And the more you anchor to who they were, the less you are able to receive the inspiration to take them to match up with what they've put into their vortex. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Some years ago, Jerry and Esther met a language teacher, and she was teaching adults at night some languages. Very excited about it. And Jerry asked her, do you have a special way of going about that? She said, as a matter of fact, I do. Interesting you picked up on something. She said, when they get there, we assign them a new name, a new place of birth, a new identity, really. You do this for a living and you are single. New person, and everybody in the group only learns them as their new identity. And those people learn languages so much faster than normal people because the people around them who have marbles about them now have different marbles than they're used to having things evoked from them. Does that make sense to you?
Thank God, I thought my bag had a hole in it.
Your bag doesn't have a hole in it. It's inspired connection and co-creation on new levels. When Esther can't remember something that she wants to remember, like she'll think of someone whose name she can't remember. She can see their face, she can't remember their name. And then she'll think, who else she knew at the same time? And she'll say, do I remember their names? Often she remembers their names, and then she remembers that name. But we're not encouraging her to do that because we're not encouraging you to spend so much time in your past. We're really encouraging you to spend more time in your now with this person that's before you now. And so you might just know that so clearly that you might say, you know, I got this thing that's going on with me where all of my clients, and a lot of them are old timers, I've been dealing with them a long time, but I'm trying to look at all of them as brand new right now. So forgive me if I forget your name. In fact, I'm forgetting almost everybody's name because I'm so wanting to be in the now with you. What are you looking for?
I think that's exactly how I handle it every time.
Well, that's the perfect.
That's right with the Lord.
That's what you're being inspired to say. That's what you're being inspired to say. And did you notice we don't ask for your name? We're not going to remember your name. We know your energy. But you know what's interesting? We're not going to remember your energy either because we're going to meet you in your now every time you get into this hot seat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really good. Memory is misunderstood. You don't have a storage cabinet. You are a transmitting and receiving mechanism. Have you noticed that sometimes you have such clarity, it's like you can remember everything that you've ever thought about a thing? Well, that's because it's important to you now, and your inner being is actively feeding it to you. Don't fret over not being able to remember. Instead, focus on what's active in your bag of marbles right now. And the more you compare your bag of marbles with your inner being's bag of marbles, the more whole you'll be in any moment, and the more valuable you'll be for everyone that you're interacting with. Yeah, really good?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Really good, really good, really good. She's not easy to forget, is she? You want to know her name? You want to know her business, though, don't you? You want her to plan stuff for you. We're not. It's really interesting, isn't it? How tied you are to things that you have no control over, and how vague things that really matter are to most of you. Do you feel different now than when you came? Do you feel more like you want to tend to your bag of marbles? Do you feel more empowered? Do you trust the law of attraction more? Do you trust yourself more? Does it make what's coming feel more, you want it more? Yeah.